Here's your classic hot rod 1929 Ford Model A, stripped down, running boards taken off, the fenders taken off. That's what they used to do back in the day. These are more popular 40s, early 50s. As a matter of fact, you see a lot of these cars today, like you look at the classic 50 cars, they're, people think that that was what the hot rodders drove. Now the hot rodders drove things like this because a brand new 50s car back in the 50s was way out of their reach. Now these things are like they're gold plated. So you got your, looks like your small block Chevy with the 3 deuces on it. Very clever, classic setup. This is kind of how you would take this car from, it's for sale too. So you got your, here's your door handles on there, speakers in the back, automatic transmission. You probably want an automatic on these because there's not a lot of foot room and for actuating the pedal on the clutch, but actually I would prefer a clutch. The only thing I would actually prefer on this is you know, a hard top kit where you can bolt it on besides the cover, you know, it's just a soft top. But I'd want fenders because you get some serious rooster tails when you're riding down this thing down the road and it's on a highway, and you know, you get some rain or something. It's not a big deal when you're going. Well, you see, back in the day, even in the 50s, the speed limits, you didn't even have an interstate highway system in the 50s. That's when President Eisenhower, you know, signed a bill, I guess it was, to put together the interstate highway system. As a matter of fact, if you're going to go from New York to Florida, you didn't take I-95. I-95 wasn't in existence. So you're taking a lot of secondary highway roads, and you know, basically you're going 45 to 55 miles an hour. You might be going 60. Today you're going on that highway, it's like 75, 80 or more, right? So these kind of cars were actually perfect for that 50 miles an hour highway speeds too. Wasn't too, you know, you wouldn't want to drive this thing down open like that down the road 75, 80 miles an hour. To be pretty hellacious. Probably where you want to wear like wraparound sunglasses and even ear protection from the wind getting in your eardrum. It bothers you after a while. You know, so you couldn't really ride this down a highway for 6 hours in a row at 75, 80 miles an hour unless you're like an endurance guy. Probably with a helmet you could do it better. Keep the wind out of you. Face shield. But these are very popular, like not just in the 40s but in the 50s. You know, when you see like a 57, 55 Chevy, some hot rodder wouldn't go, you know, unless there's some rich kid. Basically, the 55 Chevy was like a custom from the factory. So they would go in the junkyard and get, you know, something like, well, it wouldn't be this pristine, I guarantee you that. These are all far better shape than they were back in it when they were actually used by real hot rodders back in the 50s. But these are popular even in the early 60s because, you know, there was loads of them around. Now if you go get something like this, it's like they're gold plated. Everything's big bucks. You know, flathead Fords were like a dime a dozen way back then, you know, back in the 50s. You could get something like that. Now everything's real big bucks. And just like anything else here. You know, at one point in time they were a dime a dozen, now they're big bucks. But this is a classic deal, and I guess like if you had a hard top on this, you could bolt it down, and you had fenders, like small fenders, you could put trailer fenders on it. You could be riding this thing down highway about 80 miles an hour all day. You'd be good to go.